Have you ever wondered why some people seem to lose friends and respect as they get older? It's a tough truth to face. Many seniors end up feeling disliked or even ignored, sometimes without ever meaning to cause harm. In this video, we're going to dive deep into 7 powerful reasons why people might secretly resent you as you age. And here's the good news: by understanding these reasons, you can completely shift how others see you and how you see yourself. So stick with me until the very end, because not only will you understand why relationships sometimes weaken over time, but you'll also discover how to rebuild respect, connection, and even admiration. These lessons aren't about judgment. They're about growth. They're about wisdom. And most importantly, they're about giving you the tools to avoid the little mistakes that can quietly push people away. All right, let's get started. Number 1. Constant complaining. One of the clearest reasons people begin to distance themselves from older adults is the habit of constant complaining. Think about it. When every conversation revolves around aches and pains, politics, or how the world used to be better, it creates an atmosphere that others find draining. Younger people especially, who already juggle their own challenges, may start to quietly pull back. Why? Because they associate your presence with negativity rather than warmth, encouragement, or inspiration. Now, don't get me wrong, your struggles are real and your experiences do matter. Sharing hardships, discomforts, or frustrations can actually build connection if it's balanced. But when the tone always shifts toward criticism, it sends an unspoken message. I'm more focused on what's wrong than on what's still good in life. And let's be honest, people naturally gravitate toward energy that uplifts. Constant complaining signals the opposite. Why does complaining happen? Psychologically, this habit often stems from a sense of lost control. As we age, the body slows down, opportunities narrow, and frustration is natural. Complaining becomes a release valve. But here's the tricky part. What feels like self-expression to you can sound like rejection of the present to others. Over time, this erodes relationships. Even with family members who love you deeply. A story. We all think of a friend you once had who always grumbled about their job, their spouse, their health, their neighbors. Did you feel excited to spend more time with them? Or did you quietly start making excuses to avoid them? That same dynamic plays out later in life. If people begin to associate your visits with heavy conversation, they hesitate to call. They hesitate to visit. They hesitate to invite you into their world, the good news. But here's the hopeful truth. This habit can be reversed. Reframing your words toward gratitude and resilience can completely change how people see you. Even small shifts matter. Sharing a memory with joy instead of sorrow. Talking about what you appreciate today instead of only what you miss. These small moments draw people closer instead of pushing them away. Complaining is a habit, but so is inspiring others. And the beautiful part? You get to choose which one defines you. Number 2, refusing to listen. Another big reason people begin to resent older adults is the refusal to truly listen. As the years go by, some folks slip into the habit of believing they already know the answers. Conversations slowly turn into one-sided lectures instead of warm, two-way exchanges. Now, this may not sound like a big deal, but let me tell you, it creates a wall between you and the people you care about. A wall that leaves others feeling unheard, dismissed, and sometimes even unimportant. Listening is not just about being quiet while someone else talks. Real listening is about showing curiosity. It's about asking questions. It's about making the other person feel valued and understood. But here's what often happens. When an older adult interrupts, finishes someone's sentence, or flips the conversation back to their own story, the unspoken message comes through loud and clear. What I have to say matters more than what you have to share. And that, over time, it breeds quiet resentment. Why this happens? Psychologically, this habit often comes from a deep desire to hold on to dignity. The world changes so quickly. Technology, culture, even language. Many seniors feel left behind. So what happens? Speaking over others becomes a defense mechanism, a way to prove I still know things. I still matter. But instead of gaining respect, it often creates the opposite: frustration, distance, and silence from those around you. A common scenario: picture this: a family dinner. A younger relative is excited, trying to share about their new job or relationship, and the response is immediately, "Well, back in my day." Without even realizing it, their joy gets deflated. Their story feels brushed aside. And next time, they may not even try to share at all. Not because they don't love you, but because they don't feel heard. Here's the irony. People respect great listeners even more than great talkers. Think about the last person who truly listened to you. The one who leaned in, asked follow-ups, and made you feel like your words had weight. Didn't you walk away thinking, "Wow, I really enjoy being around them"? That's the exact effect you can create too. By asking thoughtful questions and holding back the urge to dominate, you make others feel important. And in return, they'll crave more time with you. Quick break. If you're still here finding this video helpful, comment number 2 down below so I know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Your support really helps us keep creating content like this. Number 3, being overly critical. The third reason people sometimes pull away is the habit of being overly critical. Now here's the thing. With age comes experience, and with experience comes perspective. That's a gift. But when perspective turns into constant judgment, criticizing people's choices, their appearance, their work, their lifestyle, it starts to feel less like wisdom and more like condemnation. And condemnation, that pushes people away. Younger relatives, neighbors, even lifelong friends may begin to dread interactions, not because they don't love you, but because they expect criticism instead of encouragement. How criticism shows up, it can be subtle. Maybe it's a remark about someone's clothes, a quick jab at how they raise their kids, or a question about how they spend money. You might mean it as helpful guidance, but to the other person, it often lands as a sharp edge, and those sharp edges, when repeated, cut deeper and deeper. Eventually, people protect themselves. How? By keeping their distance. Why it happens on a deeper level, being critical often comes from disappointment. Many seniors look at today's world and think, it's lost its standards, its manners, its values. Pointing out flaws feels like a way to hold on to what once felt right. But here's the catch. To others, it doesn't sound like wisdom. It sounds like disapproval. It sounds like rejection. And rather than creating respect, it quietly creates resentment. Flip the script, think for a second. When someone constantly points out your mistakes, how do you feel? Closer to them? Or like you'd rather avoid them? That's the same way children, grandchildren, even close friends feel when faced with ongoing criticism. What you see as honesty, they may hear as harshness. And here's the truth. Everybody already carries self-doubt. A kind word lifts that weight. Constant criticism? It doubles the burden. But the moment you shift from judgment to encouragement, relationships transform. A simple, "I'm proud of you," or "I see how hard you're trying," can light someone up for days. Instead of pushing them away, you're drawing them closer. Because in the end, people don't remember every detail of what you said. They remember how you made them feel. Number 4, living in the past one. Subtle but powerful reason people pull away is when someone constantly lives in the past. Now, memories are beautiful. Sharing stories about the good old days can actually bring joy and laughter. But when conversations always circle back to how things used to be better, better music, better neighbors, better morals, better prices, it creates a gap between you and those living in the present. Here's the hidden danger. What feels like nostalgia to you can feel like dismissal to others. When a younger person hears, "Back in my day, things were so much better," the unspoken message becomes, "Your world isn't good enough. Your choices don't measure up." That message doesn't draw people closer. It makes them feel small, unappreciated, even rejected. Why it happens? Nostalgia is comforting. Especially as change speeds up, it's natural to reach for familiar times. But here's the reality. If every conversation is anchored in yesterday, people start to feel like you're not really present with them today. The shift that changes everything, instead of only talking about what's gone, mix in curiosity about what's new. Ask about modern music, apps, or trends, even if you don't love them. Show interest. Because the moment people see that you value their world too, they feel respected. And respect builds connection. Your past matters, but so does your presence in the here and now. And when you balance both, people feel lucky to be around you, not burdened. Number 5, stubbornness. Another reason resentment quietly builds is stubbornness. We all know someone who refuses to bend, even in small ways. Maybe it's sticking to the same routines. Maybe it's shutting down new ideas. Or maybe it's clinging to opinions like they're carved in stone. Here's the truth. Some level of stability is good. But when stubbornness turns into rigidity, relationships crack. Because here's what it communicates. My way is the only way. And let's be honest, that mindset leaves no room for growth, compromise, or even joy. Why stubbornness grows with age, psychologists say it often comes from fear. Fear of losing independence, fear of being ignored, fear of change itself. Dig deep, and stubbornness is rarely about the surface issue. It's not really about the thermostat setting or the dinner menu or which TV channel is on. It's about wanting to feel in control. But here's the catch. Holding on too tightly often drives others away. Instead of gaining control, you lose connection. A simple example, imagine a grandparent who insists the whole family eat dinner at 5 p.m. sharp because that's the right way. Younger members who work late or prefer a different schedule eventually stop coming. Not out of disrespect, but because compromise never feels possible. That's how stubbornness quietly empties rooms. The alternative flexibility is magnetic. It shows people that you value their needs too. It says, I may have preferences, but I care more about being with you than about being right. And when people feel that, they lean in. They show up. They stay close. Because in the end, nobody remembers who was right at dinner. They remember the love they felt while sharing it. Number 6, neglecting self-care. Another reason people may secretly resent you as you get older is neglecting self-care. Now, let's be real. Aging comes with challenges. But when you stop taking care of yourself altogether, it doesn't just affect you. It impacts how others feel around you. When hygiene slips, when health is ignored, when appearance is completely neglected, it sends a silent message. I've given up. And here's the thing. People often mirror the energy you give off. If you don't show care for yourself, others struggle to show care for you in the same way. Why it happens? Neglect often grows from exhaustion, illness, or even sadness. Over time, routines break down, motivation fades, and slowly the little things, clean clothes, grooming, exercise, begin to feel unnecessary. But here's the truth. Those little things aren't little at all. They shape how people experience your presence. The impact on relationships. Think of it this way. If someone you know constantly shows up unkempt, tired, and disinterested in their own well-being, how do you feel? Inspired to be with them? Or a little weighed down? That's exactly how others feel when self-care disappears. The good news? You don't need to look 20 again. You don't need to be flawless. What matters is effort. A clean outfit, a smile, a walk around the block. These small acts whisper something powerful. I still value life. I still value myself, and I value being with you. That energy draws people in, it inspires them, and it keeps resentment far away. Number 7, acting superior. The final reason people sometimes resent older adults is acting superior. Now let's be honest, wisdom is real. With age comes experience that younger generations can't buy. But when wisdom shifts into arrogance, always correcting, always lecturing, always reminding people you know better, it creates distance, not closeness. Because here's the hidden truth. People don't want a judge. They want a guide. Why it happens? This behavior often comes from frustration with being overlooked. Many seniors feel invisible in today's fast world. Acting superior becomes a way to reclaim importance, but sadly, it often backfires. Instead of gaining respect, it triggers quiet resentment. People begin to feel belittled instead of supported. Think about it. When someone constantly reminds you they're smarter, wiser, or tougher, do you feel connected to them? Or do you feel defensive, maybe even small? That's the effect superiority has on relationships. The better approach, instead of, I know better, try, here's what I've learned. What do you think? Instead of dismissing new ideas, try blending your wisdom with curiosity. When you share lessons humbly, without arrogance, you transform from a critic into a mentor. And mentors are loved, respected, and remembered. Final thoughts? So, let's recap. The 7 habits that can quietly make people resent you as you age are constant, complaining, refusing to listen, being overly critical, living in the past, stubbornness, neglecting, self-care, acting superior. But here's the good news. None of these are permanent. Every single one of them can be unlearned, shifted, or replaced with healthier habits. The key is awareness. Once you recognize these patterns, you can rewrite them. Instead of pushing people away, you can draw them closer. Instead of resentment, you can inspire respect. Instead of loneliness, you can rebuild connection. And here's the truth. You deserve that. No matter your age, you deserve to be valued, loved, and surrounded by people who enjoy your presence. So, the next time you catch yourself slipping into one of these habits, pause, take a breath, and choose differently. Because age doesn't have to mean losing friends or respect. It can mean gaining wisdom, deepening love, and leaving behind a legacy that others will never forget.